What does it mean when we tell citizens pay extra for health, yet your money is stolen and nobody is held accountable?
Governance is an important subject for us as Kenyans. We are now a decade into the devolution process that was brought about by the new constitution in 2010. We are now going through the second and third phases, after the 5-year periods. So many counties are now implementing, for example, the CIDP program. This is their third CIDP programs that they're about to implement. And if you look closely, you'll find that we are still at the infancy stage of the devolution. Europe, for example, has been applying devolution for hundreds of years, where regions then take charge of their resources and then contribute to the general development of the nation.
Governance is the most interesting topic for me because it comes as our day-to-day lives, unfortunately, or fortunately, so to say. Because if governance systems were working better, then all of us would have a very cool life. Some of us wouldn't need to transnight working. But let's come into the context of what we have as a country and accountability per se as it is. We have a new government and we already have 2 scandals rolling. What does it mean when we're talking about an oil scandal and at the same time people telling you to pay an extra for NHIF? We have a new NHIF bill that is coming up. What does it mean when we tell citizens pay extra for health, yet your money is stolen and nobody is held accountable?
You go to the hospital, you have been deducted NHIF. You go to the hospital will tell you, no, these are the type of drugs which we can give you. We cannot give you beyond this because you are NHIF, I don't know, A, B, C, D. So still there's a lot of problems because even now I'm being deducted NHIF, but I don't know exactly what am I getting from this NHIF. So there's a lot of problems in terms of accountability, and sometimes the community, they will be resisting. Not resisting because they are stupid or they're ignorant or what. It's because they don't see the value of what they are contributing to.
And the shenanigans that happen after that, having a whole CS insulting media, having a whole CS coming to brag about how she'll fire people just because. But who's being held accountable? How do we get our money back? And these are the conversations that I wish we would be having. And the reason I'm putting it that way is because for the longest time, we use governance and accountability as jargons and elitist words. But the people who suffer more are the common citizens who pay levies every single day to survive.
Even as we celebrate the fruits of devolution, we have to remember also that it has come with its challenges. And the main challenge is the devolution of corruption. Before we were talking of national government corruption, money that is lost, in public coffers, and places like that. Now that we have devolved, that money has been distributed to the 47 counties, unfortunately, we have seen also the devolution of corruption. County governments that are corrupt, money that is lost within the subnational level, and these amount to huge sums of money if you look at it collectively.
Those people who can barely raise 1,000 bob a day, but they need to buy unga for 300 bob, and you need them to pay 700 to 1,000 bob as NHIF, and then you steal their money. Those are the people that count. And so I'm bringing it down to that level for people to understand that governance starts there. It's about the people we choose and we elect to go represent us, right? It's about the responsibilities we give them to give us proper policies, proper bills, and ensure our funds, our taxes from being looted, yet they still do that.
When we talk about good governance, we look at the Devolved Act, whereby communities need to be engaged when it comes to community projects and all that. And we have seen some counties coming up with participation acts, like the policy on participation, but now there is no framework for communities to participate, and that has been hindering the community in terms of participation. The county governments, because we have been working very closely with the county governments, we have seen the goodwill of engaging communities is still dragging. And I think the communities need to be engaged in terms of participation in any way when there's budget processes and all these processes, or any project which the government want to initiate. The engagement of communities have become mandatory within our laws. And I feel still there's a very big challenge in terms of engaging communities, although the county government are trying to engage, but still the framework need to be very clear on how this is going to be done.
Public participation is anchored in the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land. And minus even the County Act and the county policy, just using the Constitution of Kenya, people have to do public participation. But there are so many things which are done, which are so many projects which are implemented, so many laws which have been passed in Parliament, so many laws which have been passed in the county assemblies, which the communities have not been involved in their formation. And this is wrong.
So, and unfortunately, and the irony of it is that we are having this conversation as we have our members of county assembly on go slow because they want an increase, right? A pay rise. And then on the other hand, we have the president and the MPs waiting for around 15% in pay rise. Show me where that happens, because even in a normal organization, the HR does not give you past 5% of your increase.
And this is a challenge that we need to take up. As an organization that is working outside of Nairobi, considering ourselves as a community organization, we are working with local groups to build their capacities, to be able to monitor, to document, and to hold local governments accountable for money or resources that are given to them. So for example, we have done social accountability, where we empower the local people to understand the budgets and then go and ask questions from their local leaders of how that money was utilized. And we've seen great success in this. One, we've empowered the people, but second, we've also helped to fight corruption at that subnational level.
If there's one thing that really hurts a human being, is looking at your payslip versus what you're remitting to the government versus the service you're getting. Because I wish I could pay the tax that I pay, but still access a public hospital that has doctors and nurses, because the doctors we have already are overburdened, are overwhelmed. So these are conversations we don't have. I wish I could pay the same and wake up and take my son to a public school and be contented that this child will go to school and get proper education. Unfortunately, we are still dealing with public schools and public institutions that have not yet been funded, that kids are having to be sent home because schools cannot afford food, because schools cannot be sustained enough.
Why sometimes the county government decide to mobilize community to give their views in their budgets for community projects, and at the end, when you see the final document, the suggestion of communities are nowhere to be found in that document.
For me, governance is about the economics of it, it's about the leadership of it, but at the same time, it's about the people. The people who deserve answers to where money goes to, the people who deserve answers to the taxes they pay every day. And I keep asking myself this question: who holds KRA accountable?
What are the leaders doing to fight corruption at that subnational level?
Do the citizen really and genuinely know what it means to have a functional governance system?